Hi everyone, let's discuss one of the most amazing sets that were ever asked in CAT, and this set is from CAT 2023 slot 1. It says a visa processing office VPO accepts visa applications in 4 categories. Those categories are US, UK, Schengen and others. The applications are scheduled for processing in 20 15-minute slots starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 2 p.m. That is 5 hours. 5 hours, each slot is of 15 minutes. So 1 hour, 4 slots. 5 into 4, 20 slots. 10 applications are scheduled in each slot. So total 20 slots, 20 into 10. There could be a total of 200 applications that can be scheduled on a particular day. Let's say there are 10 counters in the office, 4 dedicated to US applications and 2 each for UK, Schengen and others applications. So 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6 and 4, a total of 10 counters. Applicants are called in for processing sequentially on a first come, first served basis whenever a counter gets freed for their category. So it doesn't matter if 2 people are arriving at the same time in the same slot, but if a counter is not available, then one of them will have to wait and they will be served later, even they arrived on time. Now it says the processing time for an application is the same within each category, but it may vary across the categories. Means the processing time for an application in each category for each category is for an application is same within each category. Means for US category, the processing time for each application will be same. Let's say if this is X, then for every application, the processing time will be X minutes. In case of UK applications, if one application is being processed in Y minutes, for each application will be processed in Y minutes. And this is what it says, but it may vary across the category. It's not necessary that for each of these 4 categories, the processing time to process an application is same. They could vary, they could be different. Like to process one application in US category, if it is 10 minutes, then to process one application in UK category, it could be different. It could be 15 minutes or it could be 12 minutes or 20 minutes. That depends. Each US and UK application requires 10 minutes of processing time. So it's given already for US. Each application takes 10 minutes to be processed, and in case of UK also, it takes 10 minutes to process one application. Depending on the number of applications in a category and time required to process an application for that category, it is possible that an application for a slot may be processed later. So it's possible that one application is being processed later even if someone is arriving at its slot. On a particular day, Ira, Vijay and Nandini were scheduled for Schengen visa processing in that order. So Ira arrived first, Vijay arrived second and Nandini arrived third, but in that order. Okay. They had a 9:15 a.m. slot but entered the VPO at 9:20 a.m. Means they are 5 minutes late. When they entered the office, exactly 6 out of the 10 counters were either processing applications or had finished processing one and ready to start processing for the next. Means out of 10, 6 were working, 4 were idle. What can we say about those 4 counters? That they are not processing applications. They could have finished an application, not ready for the next one, right? Because it says that either processing application or had finished processing one, ready to start processing the next. So just opposite of this, either they are not processing at all or they have finished processing one by 9:20 and not ready for the next one until next slot. Mahira and Osman were scheduled in the 9:30 a.m. slot on that day for visa processing in the others category. the following additional information is known about that day. So let's use this information. First of all, what do we know? That we have 10 counters. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 counters. 4 counters are for US, right? 4 counters are for US. Then we have 2 counters for UK. Then we have 2 counters for Schengen. Then we have 2 counters for others, right? A total of 10 counters. Then it says that all slots were full. All slots were full. That what does that mean? There are 20 slots, right? And there are 20 slots of 15 minutes. This is given, means all the slots were full, and each slot there were 10 applications. It's already given. So total number of applicants will be 20 into 10. A total 200 applications were there. Previously, we found that there could be a maximum 200 applications, because 20 into 10, 200 applicants would be there, a maximum. But now we know for sure that there are exactly 200 applications, because every slot is full. 20 slots, 10 applications. The number of US applications were the same in all the slots, means 9 to 9:15. If there were X people who applied, then 9:15 to 9:30, again X applications. 9:30 to 9:45, again X applications. So if it was X here in first slot, then total it will be 20X applications. In case of UK, if there were Y applications in one slot, there will be a total of 20Y applications. In case of Schengen, if there were Z applications in one slot, then there will be 20 Z applications. In case of others, if there were W applicants or applications in one slot, there will be a total 20 W applications, and sum of all these should be 200, right? Total 200 applications. Now it says the number of US applications was the same, and the same was true for the other 3 categories as well, that I have written here. 50% of applications were US applications. So total number of applications is 200. So in case of US, 50% of this means this is equal to 100. Now it says all applicants except Ira, Vijay and Nandini arrived on time. Vijay was called to a counter at 9:25 am. These are the information given. Now, before we move forward and use the information, let's try to find out how many applications were there in each slot for UK, Schengen and others. Now, as per the given information, we already know that in case of Schengen, there were at least 3 who were scheduled in 9:15 slot, right? So, even if we don't know anything other than that, can we say this value Z must be greater than equal to 3? Z must be, number of applicants in each slot for Schengen must be greater than equal to 3, because we already know 3 names who were scheduled in 9:15 slots. So overall 20 into 3, this must be greater than equal to 60. A total applications in Schengen visa processing category will be greater than equal to 60. In case of others, Mahira and Osman were scheduled in the 9:30 am slot, 2 people. So in case of other, can we say in each slot there must be at least 2 applications, and in total there must be at least 40 applications, right? Now if you check this, the sum should be 200. 100 plus 60 plus 40, it's 200. What does that mean? Means there is no more than, this is the exact value, means number of applicants in each slot for Schengen category is exactly 3, and number of applications in each slot for others category is exactly 2, and number of applications in US category, if total is 100, then 100 by 20, this is equal to 5. What does that mean? Number of applications visa applications for UK category is equal to 0. So these two counters are always idle. These two counters are not working. Only these 8 counters are working, right? Then it says all applicants except Ira, Vijay and Nandini arrived on time. So in case of other, everything is as usual. In case of Schengen, we will have to consider. In case of US, we will have to consider because there are 4 counters but 5 applicants. And in each case, the time is 10 minutes. The processing time is 10 minutes. Now what will happen? If we try to understand this one, that all 3 arrived at 9:15. For 9:15 slot, they arrived at 9:20. Now, if any counter is empty, any counter is idle in case of Schengen, what we can say that they will be called instantly, right? They will be called instantly. Vijay, before Vijay, Ira has arrived there, right? So Ira will be called either at 9:20 or 9:21, 9:22, 9:23, 9:24 or 9:25, but it will be before Vijay. And Vijay is called at 9:25. What does that mean? That 2 applications in these 2 counters has been started processing, right? At 9 a.m. slot, can I say 2 applications are being processed, but there are 3 applicants. In case of Schengen, there are 3 applicants, means one of the 3 applicants of 9 a.m. slot is waiting, right? This person is waiting one of these to be finished. Now, whatever time it takes, let's say it takes k minutes. So, k minutes. So, at 9 k minutes past 9, one of these counters, these 2 counters will be freed, and the third person of the first slot will get his chance or her chance to get the visa processed, and again it will take k minutes. And this counter will have to wait by 9:15. There will be a waiting time till 9:15, right? If someone arrived at 9:15, he will get to this counter, but no one arrived at 9:15. All 3 arrived at 9:20. And Ira is the first person to arrive at 9:20. Can I say that at 9:20, Ira will get her chance, right? Ira will get her chance. Now, Vijay will get his chance once this person, the third person of slot 1, applications will be processed, right? So that's why this person is getting, the person Vijay is getting his chance at 9:25 a.m. What does that mean? Means 2 persons exactly got their visa processed in 25 minutes, right? So 25 by 2, we can say that the processing time for Schengen visa, the processing time of each application in Schengen visa, Schengen counter is 12.5 minutes. Then it says, what does it say? Vijay was called to a counter at 9:25 a.m. Now we know. Now in case of others, can we find out the time? Let's see. It says that when they entered the office, exactly 6 out of the 10 counters were either processing applications. So at 9:20 a.m., what is happening? That these 2 are working, right? Because this person, this counter is already busy from 9 a.m. So this counter is finished one at 9:20, not finished, still working at 9:20. So and this counter is just ready to start Ira's processing, right? And it says when they entered the office, exactly 6 out of the 10 counters were either processing applications or had finished processing one. So the second counter had finished processing one and ready to start the next one. Means these 2 counters are busy at this time. And in case of US, there are 5 applicants each slot, but there are 4 counters. So can I say from 9 a.m. they will start, the four of them will start at 9 a.m. and what will happen? That 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So at all of these will be finished by 9, 10. Now the fifth applicant of slot 1 is still waiting. So he will get his chance in any one of these 4 counters. And all of these 4 will be idle, right? Till 9:15, all of these 4 will be idle. But this counter is still processing. This will be processed till 9:20. Till then, 5 more applicants will be there, right? And these counters will be processing applications till 9:25, right? And 2 of them are still waiting. So one of them will get to this counter at 9:20 and this counter is also processing till 9:30. What does that mean? That these 2 counters are busy at 9:20. These 4 counters are busy at 9:20. So 4 plus 2, 6 counters are either processing applications or had finished processing one, ready to start processing the next. Means 4 of them were idle, 2 of them are from UK, because there are no applications in UK category. Can I say that in the remaining 2 counters which are idle must be from others? How is that happening? There are two applications in each slot in other categories. Still at 9:20, these 2 counters are either not processing the applications or they are not ready to take the next one. What does that mean? Can I say that means that by 9:20, so second slot is 9:15 to 9:30, right? But by 9:20, at 9:20, they are not processing, they are not ready to take the next one. Means they have finished the applications, the 2 applications of this slot by 9:20. Means the time for this other category must be less than equal to 5 minutes. Means in 5 minutes, they finished the 2 applications they got in this slot at 9:15 slots. So the time for processing each application in other category will be 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes, right? Now, if we check the questions one by one, how many UK applications were scheduled on that day? We already know this. Number of UK applications is 0. What is the maximum possible value of the total time in minutes nearest to its integer value required to process all applications in other categories? In other categories, total how many applications are there? A total of 40 applications. Each application take 5 or less than 5. So it says maximum. If it says maximum value of total time, what we can say? 20, a total of 40 applications and each take 5 or less than 5. So maximum 5, it will be 200 minutes. So answer is 200. Which of the following is the closest to the time when Nandini's application process got over? So in case of Nandini, Ira, Vijay, Nandini, in that order, in Schengen visa counter. So there are 2 counters. We know that the time for each applications to be processed required is 12.5 minutes. So starting with 9 o'clock, 9 a.m., this went till 12.5. Then next one at 9:25. Then this one at 9 o'clock and not 9 o'clock, 9:12.5. And this was idle. The second counter was idle till 9:20 when Ira arrived. So now at 9:20 it started and it will be finished by 9:32.5 a.m. right? So first counter, slot 1 first applicant will be processed here. Slot 1 second applicants will be processed here. Then comes Vijay, and Vijay application will be processed by 9:37.5 minutes. Second counter, third applications of first slot will be processed by 9:12.5. There is a rest for this counter for 7.5 minutes because Ira arrived late. Her applications will be processed at 9:20 to 9:32.5. Now, at the earliest, Nandini's application will be started processing at 9:32.5, and it will take 12.5 more minutes, means 9:45 Nandini's applications will be finished, the application process will get over. So answer is option D. Which of the following statements is false? The application process of Mahira was completed before Nandini's. Now, what do we know about Mahira? It says in case of Mahira and Osman were scheduled in 9:30 am slot on that day for visa processing in the other category. In others category, we know that the time is less than equal to 5 minutes, right? The time is less than equal to 5 minutes. They were scheduled at 9:30 and everyone arrived on time except Ira, Vijay and Nandini. Means these two arrived at time, means these Mahira arrived at 9:30 and his application will be processed by at max 9:35 am. So the process of Mahira was completed before Nandini. This is true, right? Because the application of Nandini was over by 9:45. Application of Mahira was over by 9:35. The application process of Osman was completed before Vijay. Osman's application was processed at it was done by 9:35. In case of Vijay, it was over by 9:37.5. So what we can say, 9:37.5 am and 9:35 am. So the application process of Osman was completed before Vijay. That is also true. The application process of Osman was completed before 9:45. That is also true. So the application process of Mahira started after Nandini. That is not possible because it was finished, it was processed before 9:45, right? So that is not possible. The application process of Mahira started at 9:30 am, while for Nandini, it was started at 9:32.5 am. So this is false and option D is our answer. Then comes the next one. When did application processing for all US applicants get over on that day? So in US application, what do we know? That there are 4 counters, right? There are 4 counters. All of them started at 9 o'clock. 9, 9, 9 and 9. Each application is processed in 10 minutes, right? Each application is processed in 10 minutes. So each of these will be processed in 10 minutes, means by 9:10, 4 applications will be processed. By 9:10, 4 applications will be processed. But what do we know? That there are 5 applicants in each slot of US category. What will happen to the 5th one? The 5th one will get his opportunity in any of these 1 counter at 9:10. But the rest 4 will have to wait for 5 minutes. These three will have a rest of 5 minutes and they will start again at 9:15. But this will be over by 9:20. Right? Now, all of these 3 will again start. So all of these 3 will again start at 9:15 and they will process these applications by 9:25. Now in slot 2 applicants, the slot 2 is 9:15 to 9:30. 3 of the applications are done by 9:25. The 4th one will be done here at 9:20 by 9:30. This will be done by 9:30. But the 5th application of the 2nd slot will have to be done in any of these 3 slots, and 9:25 to 10, it will be done by 9:35, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 plus 4, 8 plus 2, 10. 10 applications of 2 slots were done, but it took 5 minutes extra than the scheduled time, right? So if you check in each slot, in each slot, the last application is getting 5 minutes more than the scheduled time. Like if it was 9 a.m. to 9:15, the fifth one got processed by 9:20. In second slot, if the time was 9:15 to 9:30, then the last one, the 10th application was got over by 9:35. So if you think about this, so every time one application will overshoot the time by 5 minutes, right? So if it was supposed to be ending at 2 p.m., the time it will take 5 more minutes, right? From 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., 20 slots, right? So this will be happening in every single slot, that the last application will get 5 more minutes into the next slot. Okay, so the last application will get over by 2:05 p.m., right? And I guess that was the last question of this amazing, beautiful set. And I hope you understood all the solution, all the points of this set. It was not an easy language, but somehow we will have to manage it, right? And if you have any doubts, any question, then let me know in the comments. Thank you.